I'm going to go ahead and reconvene. The attendance for the meeting, we don't have anybody on the phone or anything. We know everybody's name for the minutes. So from there, I will go ahead and ask for the approval of this agenda. It's on the public hearing animal feed and operation construction permit Tri-B site, section 8 of Alden Township.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I will go ahead and open the public hearing on the animal feed and operation construction permit Tri-B site, section 8 of Alden Township. Can we verify proof of publication? Yes, we can. So let's go to a review of the project. Let's unmute Seth. Go ahead, Seth, unmute yourself and
talk first, sir.
Yep. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So the Section 8 site owned by the Tripp brothers, confinement facility with 2 barns. It'll hold 5,000 head of weaned market swine. It'll be deep pitted so that we contain all the manure under the barn to minimize odor and prevent runoff. Excuse me. The site has a considerable distance from public use businesses and water sources, greatly above what's required by law. The site owners have also taken quite a few enhancement points on the matrix, so they'll be installing a feeding and watering system that'll reduce water waste, reduce manure production. They will also be injecting manure on the same day as it is applied to reduce odor and reduce the potential for runoff from the fields. They've also completed a worker safety plan and environmental response plan for emergencies on the site. The emergency response plan will be maintained with MMP records, and that'll be used in such cases as truck rollovers, manure spills, fires, inclement weather, those kind of things. They've also submitted a closure plan to comply with DNR rules as well as the more stringent NRCS guidelines should the site ever be closed. Those are the main enhancement points that we've taken that people should be aware of. The site is an excellent site. It scores very well. Combined with the reputation of the owners, it should be a valuable addition to the industry, we believe. And Brent would like to talk.
Can I also say something?
Sure.
Yes.
I just also, last time we sat, and I just want you guys to know exactly the reason why we're doing this. And we're just a small family farm. Mom and dad have farmed all their lives. We started probably about 15 years ago, and my brother Ryan graduated Iowa State. All 3 of us brothers graduated from Iowa State, but Ryan graduated, knew he wanted to farm, needed income to help subsidize things. So we started 15 years ago with a hog site in Franklin County. So we're probably 7-8 miles north of where this site is. And we've farmed this site that we're talking about, the ground there, for as long as I can remember. We then expanded about 7 years ago in Franklin County. We expanded due to me wanting to come back and farm and leaving United Suppliers. So I'd worked south of town at United Suppliers on the feed side. I was feed sales manager, left United Suppliers and then went up there, and then we expanded again because we needed the income to come back to us. All this time we're using the manure to go back on the ground. So the way it works right now is, as you can see, brother Matt, he's kind of the one down south, but him and his family come back spring and fall, help us with the farming. Ryan, the one that's not on right now, he's covering for me. He takes care of most of the farming ground. I do the livestock side of things, and we get along real well with that. So I tell him we've got this much manure. Ryan tells us where to put it, and we also work then with Tony Hand on applying it. So what we do well is we work with the pigs well. And so then after I came back, we sat down as brothers again, and we asked, what's happening, because I live in Hardin County. My wife works at the Brandy Hospital. She's in charge of cardiac rehab over there. And then my 2 kids have graduated from South Hardin. I've got a kid at Timothy Christian School who hopefully will graduate there too. But we've got these kids that are getting older. My daughter graduated a couple years ago, and then, you know, if they would decide that they would want to come back along with my brothers and their families or somebody, where do we have room to maybe adapt them into the facility, along with this piece of property that we've farmed for a long time. We've been trucking either manure down there, we've got to buy commercial fertilizer to make a crop. This makes good sense for us to add this, be able to use the manure there. When we truck the manure from the 6-7 miles away, it's more of a danger trucking it than it is doing anything else when we work with Tony and trucking it. So having it there, being able to inject it, it makes good sense, along with the opportunity then that if another one of our family members would like to come back, or if things would happen and Matt would decide to come back, that we would have that opportunity to do so. We don't try and be a burden to anybody. We add pit additive to the pits to help keep the ammonia down. Plus it helps bring the ammonia for the manure that we put back on the farm. We also use golden mallard and fly baits in the buildings to keep the fly population down. And we make sure that we watch to make sure that we don't have solid manure in the buildings. So we try and be good neighbors. We've also received awards from the people that we grow for. We've gotten site management awards. We've gotten caretaking awards. And we're pretty proud that here in January, we got the Masters of Pork Award. That's where a peer had to think that we were good enough to fill out a paperwork and then apply for us. We didn't even know about it, to get this award. Then the pork producers send a group of ambassadors out. They have to look over all the stuff that we do. They have to make sure that we do a good job and that, you know, what this person had said, we actually follow through on. So we take the manure, we use it on our ground, and then these pork producers, they then vote as a group, and then you get this Masters of Pork Award. So it's not something that is handed out very often. And with that, we also feel that there's other benefits to the county. I mean, again, with Tony Hand being the manure applier, we know that we aren't, you know, we can't do everything, but he can, and he does a good job. He, you know, he has a lot of people that work for him that live in Hardin County. I mean, the builder lives in and works in Hardin County and has people that work there. If it were to happen, the concrete crew, they live, a lot of them live in the Hardin County. You know, a lot of supplies and stuff that we buy, those people are in Hardin County. You know, the taxes obviously are a benefit too, but you know, for Tri-B, it makes good sense, and we hope it makes good sense for Hardin County, and we want to be a good neighbor. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
From there, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public comments. Matt? You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, you gotta love technology, huh?
Yeah.
Well, first off, thanks for the opportunity to have this conversation. It's appreciated on our behalf. And to add on to what Brent talked about, I just kind of captured three questions: the what, the who, and the how. And I thought I would talk about that briefly. So first off, the what. You know, we feel we met the requirements of the matrix and have all of that captured in the proposal. One thing I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on is the who, and Brent did a good job of talking current state where we're at today. But I thought it was kind of interesting because we actually have really deep roots in Hardin County. Our great grandpa came over from Germany, was a blacksmith around the late 1800s in Hubbard, did windmills. We built off of that. And so we feel that we are part of this community. And one of our key initiatives is to leave this in a better place. Brent and family still lives there. I have three kids, 3 daughters, and growing up in ag, I would love for them to have an opportunity to have the type of experiences I had, but we need to have a sustainable business in order to allow that. And this is what this site allows us to do. And the last item I wanted to talk about is our how, because I think that's pretty important for us is how do we go about caretaking of the animals? And I would tell you, Brent and Ryan are actively involved day in and day out. And to showcase our passion in our caretaking, as Brent cited, we were recognized for the Masters of Pork, and I think that's a testament to the work that they do to make sure we're doing this the right way. And so ultimately our ask is that you approve the permit. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
At this point, anybody could unmute themselves.
Lance, this is Donna.
Donna, go ahead.
First, I will apologize for the sound of my voice. There's a north wind and I made a mistake of walking outside. The definition of requirement is a thing that is compulsory, a necessary condition. Once again, below item 16 in the matrix is this: the design, operation, and maintenance plan for a stockpile or compost structure enhancements must be in the construction permit application and made a condition in the approved construction permit. The use of the words "must be" should mean that the inclusion is a requirement. A simple sentence could have been included on page 3 of the construction design permit. Even something like this project will include a composting shed X feet by X feet and consisting of X number of square footage. It should have been included, but wasn't. 30 points should be removed again. By moving their buildings 15 feet to the east on the site drawing, they managed to acquire 20 more points on their separation distances. I was surprised to see they would make the effort to do that, but would not make the effort to include the composting shed in the construction design statement. Even though they, even though they claimed 880 points, they actually only have 480 points, minus the 30 points for the composting shed. They will still pass on points. However, the only status quo that counts here is the law, as has been stated by members of this board. Will there be a land survey to make certain the 15 feet will actually allow them to claim the additional 20 points? There should be. Who will have the responsibility to make certain that the buildings will actually be 15 feet to the east? I wonder if there will be any consequences if they do not follow the permitted plan. This application should have its recommendation denied simply because the applicant couldn't manage to complete even the minimum requirements of filling out the application, despite being given a second chance to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Yes, Julie Dunn. Okay, so here we are. We're at the second public hearing for Tri-View Section 8 construction application to build another CAFO in Hardin County. Whether or not the matrix score is met, there is a much bigger question to be addressed. In the month of May alone, there were 30 new applications for hog confinements throughout the state of Iowa. How do all of these applicants plan to compete in a market when 10 million hogs nationwide may need to be culled by September? It just does not make sense. No one seems to address that question, including Mr. Tripp himself. Taxpayers are now paying the price for all this overproduction, with Iowa's agricultural department asking for help in the amount of $24 million of federal COVID relief funds. They want to pay $40 a head for each head destroyed. According to a Des Moines Register article on May 26th, the most any producer will be paid is, $1.2 million for up to 30,000 animals in each round. Apparently, there will be more than one round of these payments, and it is at taxpayer expense. With well over 1.25 million hogs in Hardin County alone, expansion here would appear not to be a wise investment, and my proof of point is the fact that Iowa Select Farms started killing hogs in late April because the animals no longer had any commercial value. They used VDS, ventilation shutdown, brutal, horrific method of killing that involves shutting down pit fans, ventilation fans, and then pumping in steam. The hogs are literally roasted alive. Not only is this a gruesome event extremely cruel and brutal, it also causes serious mental health harm to workers. There's also the question of whether the results of these actions actually meet the guidelines of the American Veterinary Medical Association's guidelines for the depopulation of animals. And then what do you do with 2,500 dead hogs in a building the morning after a mass killing? That being said, no one as yet has explained to me why our county supervisors should logically and with sound reasoning approve this application, given all the other reasons that should normally be considered, like harm to water quality, air quality, loss of property value, ongoing damage to gravel roads, etc. We must now deal with the realities and uncertainty of the coronavirus. Given the unrest in this nation, COVID-19 will not go away anytime soon. The only thing we can be certain of is uncertainty. If you really wish to participate in the supply chain of pork production, you might try joining the most essential group in our food supply chain. Get a job at JBS or Tyson or Smithfield, where your income will be guaranteed as long as you are able to show up. They are hiring, of that you can be certain. And at this point in time, until sustainable agricultural policies become the norm, the only solution will be found within the walls of those meat processing plants. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Hearing no more public comments. Do we have any written comments?
Just written version of the verbal comments that were made
Okay.
from Donna and Julie.
Okay. So no more public comments. Written comments have already been talked about. Here I can ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. This will be on next week's agenda. So until then, I can ask for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you.